Alright guys, so we're doing rather than doing a live cast this time, I'm going to do a little commentary on a game I played in Dawn of War 3 here. I went with Eldar, I went with the the Doctrine for the Avenger shields, increasing the shield of the Avengers. Focus shield, which creates a barrier around what's these guys called? The Falcons. And then Webway hollow field, so anything within the Webway's large thing gets a hollow, or grants stealth, so it's pretty nifty. Then with my elite choices, I went with Farseer Maka, Striking Scorpions, and the Wraith Knight Taldir. And I'm playing against another gentleman who is who is Space Marines. He went with, of course, Imperial Knight Paladin, which is not Solaria, so it's different abilities. The Terminators, again, not the Assault Terminators from Beta. These guys are meant for range, and they deal a fucking hefty amount of damage. And then Gabriel Angelos, the Somersault Uppercut King of the World. Didn't do any Doctrines, though, which was interesting. But I can say that this guy really kind of knew what he was doing. I like, ooh, what does follow camera do? This is my first time doing an actual, what's this thing called? Commentary on Dawn of War rather than actually playing. So let's just kind of get this thing speeding up here. So I go with, right off the bat, I always rush 2 to 3 Dire Avengers. It's really important because you have to get out there quickly as Eldar. You have speed, so you have to expand quickly. Your units are 70 requisition cheaper than the Space Marines, so you have to kind of get a drop on them ASAP. Does that unit interface come back? Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm trying to see what these things are about. So I usually kind of, with this map, I'm not a big fan of this map just because of the way the placement is on everything. So it's very long distance between here to your next requisition. So I spread out to these 4 to start off with. Looking at it now, I'm thinking maybe next time we'll go these 2 to begin with. But kind of a wild card technique that I've been doing a lot lately is, since the Eldar have a really fast worker, I send the Bone Singer out to cap a point, and it almost always works out for me. You'll see, speed this up a little bit because the initial portions isn't really fun, but it's not very customary for there to be an engagement right here. Usually, it's the opposing army will take these 4, and I will take these 4. So it's this guy did a really good job too of dodging grenades. He was really good in his micro. He might not have been, maybe he hadn't been playing the game maybe long enough, he didn't know about the doctrines, but that really didn't hold him back. As you guys will find out, this is a pretty vicious cockfight of a game, but it still gets pretty fun as it kind of progresses though here. I try to push an advantage. See, again, just dodging grenades, and be careful when you do use grenades with your Dire Avengers unit selected. You press tab to different ones to use different grenades, but if you don't do it right, you'll end up throwing both grenades like I did, much to my dismay. Constructed a listening post here. I have always kind of made this my forward-facing base for this map whenever I do it. It always seems to work out well because there's kind of a natural choke point here and here. So anyone that's going to come at you is going to have to funnel, but at the same time, so will you. So that's one thing to notice. Let's speed up here again. So there we go. So we got some. I really don't. I always like to rush to Rangers when I'm fighting against Marines. That helps me out a lot. Because Rangers can sit back a little bit where Marines can rush to Flamers. The Rangers can at least help pick off Flamers. But we see that he went for this point. It's interesting to see this without Fog of War now, because I was afraid to push down over here, because I figured he was going to have it already. So, note to self. I mean, I started poking the bear over here because I wanted him to come out of hiding. So I think that worked out for me. He did kind of come out a little bit. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for this big old thing to get rid of. We have my Striking Scorpions popped up here, and I really like the Striking Scorpions. Oh yeah, look at that. So one thing to mention about the Flamers, once they do enough prolonged damage, as you saw, they caught. Let me go back here a little bit. Can I go back? Is there an ability to go backwards? Guess not. Well, if you continue to attack them, a little fire symbol will appear next to your guys. And that fire symbol means that they are on fire. So they will take enhanced damage. So you saw my guys go from half shields to no shields to quarter health. So the Flamer is really destructive. Extremely destructive against Eldar. And it's really strong against orcs. So be on the lookout if you are playing an orc or an Eldar character for that to come on your way. There we go. But again, though, I like using Rangers to kind of pick off things. There were definitely points in this game where he should have just pushed his advantage and I should have pushed mine. And I'm going to see how badly I should have pushed mine as I play this. But there was also times where I did not... I did not really engage properly. But not in the sense that I do like in Total Warhammer, but in the sense that I got too ass-happy fighting for one specific unit rather than I did for his entire army. And I'm definitely learning that as this game progresses to mid to late game, you have to break your stuff into units. Your range and your melee have to be on different control tabs, or else you'll just get fucked up. You'll blob up. You'll miss out on important abilities that make it so that those units are very strong. Like, for instance, these Striking Scorpions. If you use Hunt, then Leap Strike, it just does a shit ton of damage. So if you can see this here, Hunt. The Striking Scorpion stealth, creating a cloud of smoke. The smoke acts as a patch of stealth cover in which they cannot be detected. While active, their senses are heightened, causes them to display enemies outside their vision range, even if in the fog of war, self cover or high ground. Just a terrible written fucking tooltip. Jesus Christ. But Leap Strike here is really strong because it causes damage and slows in a circle. So I'm really big on using that. I think I use it, do some ninjutsu right here coming up. But I definitely use it to pop in and out of cover, because you don't want those guys to get overextended and get fucked up. But, boom, just missed him. They know where to find us. Enemy scouts spotted. Yeah, there's that. So then the Rangers, though, see, helped me pick off this whole unit of Flamers, and he ran right into that grenade. But this whole unit of Flamers was able to get picked off of those Rangers, which is extremely advantageous, because now that those Flamers are out of the game, the Striking Scorpions can really rip stuff up. And their Mana Blasters are pretty cool. You know, Striking Scorpions periodically fire their Mana Blasters, causes damage and slow. Oh yeah, Striking Scorpions are one of my favorite units. I like Howling Banshees a little bit more, but they just are really underwhelming in this game compared to Striking Scorpions, to be honest. And you'll notice I haven't built a Soul Shrine yet. I should have had one out by now. I did do a good job of kind of keeping these requisition points pretty much in line with the way they should have been. But at the same time, I only have 3 while he's got 5. He summoned the mighty somersault backflip king of the world. But you see here, I probably should have pushed harder because he had damn near nothing. I didn't know that. It didn't look like that. But I started to push the advantage a little bit. Angelus can really fuck stuff up. You have to really kind of be careful on how he engages. And that chapter banner is something that I am learning more and more how to use. And I did not realize that had I kept my Striking Scorpions on there, I would have actually taken that banner over, which would have been a lot stronger because it wouldn't have given him this huge pushback against me here. Watch this happen here. The follow camera works. Oh, look at that. That's cool. I'm gonna leave follow camera on here, see what it does for a little bit. I'm already getting an epileptic seizure from it. But, man, you can see that Angelos can really, really tear people up. He's in that Terminator armor. But he also just getting slogged down by the Rangers. The Rangers have that really super long range, so it helps to keep that distance on a lot of like the Assault Marines or some of the more advanced melee units that the Space Marines can field. Now, you'll see, and I'll post another video here, but you'll see that this game is very tilty. Like, you'll be going really well one second and then really terribly another. Yeah, so I realized I had to kind of keep some pressure on, so, or else he was just going to build back up and we're going to do the whole build and throw armies at each other. But I was trying to break that down. I moved my scouts here to start targeting this little dude. Yeah, take that, you servitor bitch. I believe I do some ninjutsu action again here. Got some Howling Banshees into the mix. I really like this ability, Quick Strike. Howling Banshees charge in the target direction, causes damage to the units in their path, which is pretty great. There is a doctrine that makes it so that while they do that, they're invulnerable and they reflect shots at them. So that can be pretty awesome for you. In fact, I probably should have used that ability. Yeah, I knew he was coming there. But again, well, you gotta watch out for those flamers. Those flamers will just tear up Eldar in like seconds. In seconds. One tactical squad unit with flamers can really fuck up your day. Speed this up here a little bit. Getting in Maka, because Maka will adds this really nice ability here. When Maka is deployed, instead of dying, elite units temporarily enter stasis and heal, which is huge because it makes it so that people are going to focus on your early units. It's just going to happen. But if you willingly know that they're going to die, you can put them in a position that's going to pull your enemy out of position. Like right here. I knew that he would focus on him, and I could use this. Stasis. And his whole army is stunned while I finish off his building and pop off any other units that are not caught by that stasis. That's the strong thing about that ability is you can neutralize half his army, get done what you wanted to get done, and then go back for his other army once you're just kind of regrouped. But he knew that was coming, so he knocked her out of the game to end that stasis. That's an interesting tactic to retreat those guys. It's a good point. Jump can be used as a charge as well as a retreat. So just like any movement ability in like an RPG, you can use it to get in and out of combat pretty easily. High mobility. But I believe I start bringing up a Bone Singer here to make a webway. Yeah. So the webways are pretty important because they allow you to reinforce. So this whole army is great and all, but it's kind of battered. And if you can save units to at least reinforce, then you're not having to spend all the requisition on building the unit again and the build time for it. Reinforcing a damn near depleted unit takes about a quarter of the time it does to create that unit entirely again. So, caught his units out of place here, which is nice. I was able to get this knocked out. I noticed that he did not place much in his actual base. Now, had I known that, of course, like the arsenal could have been knocked out, or we do eventually knock out this Doctrine Chapel, but that seriously hinders his ability to create units. I had a feeling though something would be coming up behind me, and I think I noticed it like right about here. Yeah, there it is. I'm like, oh shit, oh fuck. So we wanted him to... I like to bait out those jumps, because if I don't take them head on, it's not too bad for me. But there we go. We got in that melee range. Eat up those Assault Marines with those Howling Banshees. Now we got the Big Daddy coming in with a big old fat jump. I have a counter jump. Boom, right there. And we throw the spear in to do the blast. What's it called? Psycho Blast. And then there it is again. So half his... Or I thought half his army got locked down more, but that did not. If you move her at all, though, that whole ability gets neutralized. Focusing down Big Dad again. Rangers outside of the range of that thing, so it gets some nice good utility into the army, good support. But we know we pretty much got him here at this point. So again, this thing, if it dies, it's going to just last chance recover. It's really easy for, like I said, this is a tilty game, so it's easy for people to... Okay, so last chance is triggering. And you can see he just came back now, about a quarter health or so. It's really easy in this game, like I said, because it is so tilty, to, okay, end the game. Like, he's got no units. Most players I've played against would just end it by now. He didn't, and it turned into a 10, 15 minute longer cockfight because of that. So, you know, I probably should not have focused on this. That, I would say, is where I lost the game, right there. That moment. It's hard to really push this thing with this army, because it's all beat to tatters, but I should have went and pushed his shield generator. I should have actually put a little effort behind this. He was able to pump out a whole new base, actually, in the time that it took me to capture this and push this. As we speed up here. And I also think I went... Yeah, I split my army into two to try and lock down his resources. But it really wasn't worth it. I spent time here trying to reinforce. I gave him the time he needed to basically come back into this game. And this is my, again, the crucial downfall of this entire match. So this gets knocked out. I mean, we started making some Dark Reapers here. Dark Reapers are really, really, really tricky because the Eldar army is very agile, and they have to set up just like the Rangers do, but they set up a little bit longer than Rangers, and they're very slow compared to Rangers. So, one thing I wish I had done is kept them in their own control group, and I did not. So, if we take a look at his army, I mean, he's already now building back an army here. He's doing the goodies. So now he's got some Devastators out.
Let us make the most of this resource. Howling banshees answer
some tactical Marines. Oh man, that's all he had here? It felt like so much more because a Fog of War was on. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Would you bring those Terminators in? That's like a neutralizer. That thing will... Look at how they just chew up units. I haven't gotten a chance to use these Terminators, but I probably... they scared the shit out of me. I fled away from them. I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. I probably should have pushed harder on them, because I did not realize this was his entire army. It was right here. I think he brings in Angelos. But the way they were just... I mean, they really weren't doing that much damage to that single unit, so I don't know why it was scaring me that much. But I swear, that thing was terrifying me. The Cyclone Missile Launcher gets pretty beast when it gets later into the game. But honestly, like, you're seeing, like, right here is where I lost the game. Like, if I just pushed that advantage, I'd be okay. And then he gets Angelos, and that guy. I bring my main army back here to reinforce. Again, I'm still thinking he's got a pretty big fat army coming. Again, Fog of War is enabled. I'm like, okay, where's the rest of his army? Shit. But I reinforce. He captures this point back, and then it becomes this kind of back and forth, of me trying to bait his army down and out of the range of those Terminators. But I had a way bigger advantage than I thought I did. I think it brings in a standard here. So it's just the way that those things work. They really do, like, they slow things down when things hit them. Those rocket launchers do a shit ton of damage. But you see those Rangers kind of picking things off as they kind of tap, tap, tap. I don't know what ability this is. I don't know what does that. It's annoying as fuck, though.
It is now the third phase of escalation.
I haven't played enough for Marines to know. Maybe it's the standard.
Tier 3.
Probably it's the standard. That little rocket symbol. So I'm sitting here falling back thinking he's got a way bigger army than this. And he's holding on by a thread going, probably yelling out, shit, how am I still here?
Shadow Spectres answer the call.
But I got in some Shadow Spectres to deal with him. I like these units a lot. So they counter heavy armor. They deal bonus damage to skimmers. And they increase their damage over time. They're just like the Protoss, what's the thing called, like the crystal ships or whatever. They keep the charged beam that does more and more damage as they focus. But here's what I mean about keeping everything in one control group. This whole thing is one control group for me, where it should have been all the the striking scorpions. All the howling banshees should have been one. We'll see how. I'll show you how it plays out here. Speed this up to when they actually engage me. And I can't explain how important orbital reinforcements are. But, okay, so we got these guys. They're going to start focusing on... And I didn't see these guys sneaking out of nowhere, too. So we put both of them, the Shadow Spectres, on the Terminators. And because I focused so much over there, this guy started running amok, and then I locked him down. That was huge because it allowed me to focus down his Terminators, kind of get my army regroup. But he's got some goodies coming here that I did not realize what it was. You'll see it. It's coming here pretty soon. The Cyclone Missile just kind of dodged that. Maka is still up, so I'm not worried about that thing dying as much. In fact, it'll heal. So this bad boy, I did not realize was a Deathstorm drop pod. So it took out my whole army. Watch, it's just gonna pet, 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 pet. I'm sitting here going, what the fuck is killing my army? And you'd think this is where the game's over. You would be a fool to think so. I'll fast forward here. But Angelos was killed, his army's down to nothing, my army's down to nothing. So you can imagine we were both like, well, okay. So we're going to speed this up, and we both just kind of go into production time. Like he's regenerating over here, he's reinforcing. I do not think you can use reinforcements on the striking scorpions. I'm not sure. I've never checked it. But he's built his army, I'm building my army. At this point, I stuck with a lot of Howling Banshees and Rangers. I don't think that was a good idea. I should have stuck more with Dark Reapers at this point, and it took me a long time to get the Infinity Portal out. Wraithguard are really strong. Really, really, really strong. They're slow as fuck, but they're really strong against anything, especially heavy armor. And then you've got Wraithblades, which are really great too against heavy armor. They both have the ability to recall back to the Infinity Portal to kind of save their lives, which is awesome. You can research this ability too and get additional capacities of that soul charge, what's called. So if you know you're in an engagement where they're going to lose, you can do that. We got ourselves in some skimmers, but even now I should have pushed. I think that I kept thinking they had this big ass army. They really didn't. I outmanned him almost the entire game. These Fire Prism tanks are pretty sick. They're very similar to the way you've seen them in Dawn of War 1 and 2, where they shoot like a charged bolt that explodes up on the ground. So the Eldritch Storm, I did not realize is controllable, even though the first two words of it are first three words are a controllable cloud of eldritch energy. Shit. But you can use this just like you can the orbital bombardment for Space Marines. But yeah, so if I had Taldir up, I should have just pushed the advantage right now, even though I know it's coming. Let's get that moving forward, because this is kind of the status quo here. Him and I going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is my first game using the Wraithblades, to be honest. I usually use just the Wraith Guard. But he's got something good, something big coming.
Release the storm's fury.
In fact, like, I don't think I meant to do what it did. In fact, yeah, I definitely didn't mean to do what I did. As you can see, I totally didn't mean to do what I did. I think I had selected it when I was trying to move my my things out of range. But we got some Taldir on Paladin action. I got all my things in here. He dropped another Deathstorm on me, and that just did a number. It just did a number. I got too concerned with trying to save my my Fire Prisms that I pushed myself into a bad engagement zone. I'm actually pretty bad with Taldir because the game doesn't get to that point that I would need Taldir. I don't know what happened there. Those things got focused down so fast. But so that shield, the scatter shield, is really good when you're charging headlong into a giant group of things, because it raises your scatter shield in the direction which will absorb shots that pass through it. After a delay, it triggers a burst of psychic energy and causing stasis in a cone. So that's pretty strong. If you're about to charge into a massive group of people, that'll at least, you know, kind of keep you going. But I saw what was going on. I started producing some units here. Figured I'd sacrifice the mighty Taldir here. Look at that beast. Boom. Shit. Sorry, Angelos. Dude, look at just this smoldering Hulk. Now, he had a huge advantage, and he didn't push it either. Like, I didn't really have anything going on at all. I think we were both like, oh, what's he got? What's he got? Wraithblades Seal are really, really able to kind of hold their own. I really like those units, the more I kind of see them. I don't know what happened with that Viper. I tried to use one of those bombs, and I ended up moving it over there. There's some... one complaint I have about this game, this is the only real complaint, is that the way units interact with their targeting is really shitty. Like, when I use the Fire Prism to right-click that... Yeah, there it is. That's the symbol that appears. That little running charging man. Like, I don't want it to charge him. That's why I see I'd right-click it and he'd move up there to go charge him. I'm like, no. You're a Fire Prism tank. You shoot! Oh, boom! Or if you have things that have a listening post on them, it's hard to target the listening post. It's incredibly hard to target the listening post. So you have to really kind of hover your mouse over there until you actually find the ability to... Well, it won't let me do it. Let me actually... Yeah, see, this is the icon that comes up. You have to do it a certain way to make it actually attack the listening post, or else they'll stand there. So, the one shortcoming this game has is your army's ability to engage as a result of those weird targeting reticles. So, again, he should have been pushing some advantage. He had a pretty beat army. We both just kind of had this auspice that one of us was more showing the other, and we're both like, oh, go. We'll hold it back here. This is about the time where I realized I need to get more Dark Reapers in my life. These things are shooting fucking things over there with this giant cannon. That's cool. It's kind of like the Ranger's ability. I haven't really gotten a chance to look at this Paladin. Got another Webblade gate up. Little too late though. But as you can see, you know, the Dark Reapers can do a lot of damage because they counter every arm. Oh. Yeah, this was not too bad of an engagement for me. It's just I didn't target Big Ugly down here. And again, I didn't have these guys all grouped up just yet, so I couldn't target the way they should have. But Wraithguard, man, they really messed stuff up. I mean, you see how quick both those Terminators went down? Now, I should have rushed in on that standard and captured it, because I did not know about standards having that ability to be captured. Disabled if captured by the enemy, as you can see. And that Cyclone Missile Launcher did a number on me, followed by that piercing shot. I had this guy over here and didn't even know it for the longest time, too. Just kind of plug it away. Yeah, but there gets a... Yeah, those guys come in there. So this, I thought... This is where I learned that I could control it. As you can see, it's just sitting there pummeling this thing. I'm like, oh yeah, that thing's fucked. Not so much. And I almost ended the game right here. But I figured, you know what? We've had such a vicious cockfight for so long, I might as well kind of keep it going. I think that, like, I had this idea that he was a way better, like, more experienced Dawn of War player than I was. Or at least, like, he was on the same level, or like, competitive grind that I'm on right now. So I figured, oh man, there's no way that he's, like, this weak back at his back line. I can't push. And I think that he's maybe thought the same thing or something. That's why we didn't push for so long in these games. Yeah, I didn't really give a shit about this thing at that point. I was like, ah. As you can see, the big old blast knocks everything apart, which is cool because it'll knock anything that has to set up. It'll force it to reset up. This game was very fun though. Like, I mean, sometimes you don't have like the quick 1, 2, 3 like 10-minute games of a competitive match where someone goes, oh screw it, I can't come back from this. I enjoy these games probably the most because this makes me feel like I'm playing like Red Alert 2 or like Dawn of War 1, where it was like just that constant ebb and flow and then fighting over really nothing. Like, we were fighting over this simple area right here. And I really enjoyed it, even though it was kind of it started becoming like kind of a downhill fight for me, especially after this. Let's speed up here. But I start getting ready for the one final push here. Look at these guys just shambled like, oh no, oh no, oh god, no. Slow, ponderous movement of the Wraith Guard. Finally brought in some of these guys more to help out with anti-vehicle. Probably should have done that earlier. The interesting thing with Space Marines, especially when they get to the mid to late game, early game they're easy to deal with. I think they're so easy to deal with early game for Eldar. But their mid to late game has got so many answers for range and melee at the same time that you have to really kind of kit for it. Oh yeah, look at you. I love the music that plays. Like when an elite is killed or an elite is someone like, oh ho ho. It's like you're watching Legends of the Hidden Temple. Bronze Barracudas! So I pop up that shield. I didn't really get a chance to see what happened here. Okay, so yeah, it did good. It's done some shit. But they had already had some of these last cannons. Yeah, these are last cannons going down. And then that's exactly when I was like, ah, okay. I see you've won this one. I even think I tell him over here on the side. It was just a really good fight. It was a really fun fight. It was a 40-minute cock match. And overall I lost, but I can say it was just a good damn time. I think there's nothing wrong with pushing in an advantage even when you think you don't have it. Because had I pushed any of those times that I thought I shouldn't have, I would have won the game outright. But instead I kind of hung back and waited and built my army and did this and did that. So I definitely see what I did wrong there and see what happened. I think the opponent was really fun as a whole, though. Like I said, I'm glad he didn't just kind of boot and scoot once he got to those 2 points when both his armies were killed off, and my armies were killed off too at that one other junction. But that's Eldar in the competitive space here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There are some other Eldar games up where I do actually win. Those are kind of cool. But thanks for joining me here. We got some more Lorehammer. If you think you want some Lorehammer for 40K, let me know. I know I've been asked that on some of my videos, but I just really want to get a good consensus for, is 40K lore wanted, I guess you could say. With 8th edition of 40K coming out, it's kind of a hot topic right now. So if you do want it, let me know. I'm more than happy to put up a Space Marines or an Eldar video for y'all. But thanks for joining, guys. Have a good one, and be on the lookout for more vids. Bye.